I woke up last night from a dream with Jesus at 4:44 a.m. and he has a message for us. Now, anytime I dream with ascended masters and or deities, they are not in physical form in my dreams here. It is actually through clairaudience that I receive their messages. So what Jesus or Yeshua had shown me in my dream was he had me in this kind of like garden-esque type of place here, and he kept showing me apples, right? So after I woke up from my dream, he continued to bring me in downloads of information, and what I'm going to do is read from notes here, and then he requested that I channel with him after I read this so that he can give us further clarifying information. Okay, first thing, we're forgetting the purpose of his word. Okay, his name is being used in vain. Too much gluttony, too much overindulgence here in this world. Apples. And then it says, being drowned the fruit of life. We are drowning out the purpose of life here, okay? Death and rebirth, because it's time for salvation. He's also giving us a message to intuitively interpret the Bible. Now, this may cause some controversy here within the religious community, right? Because we have been, I grew up in a Catholic household, right? So it was by the Bible, it was by what was said within the Bible. But what he's saying here is that we need to intuitively interpret it, because it is not meant to be taken literal, but metaphorical. It's all symbolic to resurrect our own flesh. Again, death and rebirth. So he's explaining to us here that societally, we have taken the word literal. It's not meant to be literal. This is symbolic. This is metaphorical ways to explain enlightenment, Christ consciousness here, okay? And then it continues on in that. He walks beside his beloved Mary Magdalene, representing the duality of yin and yang, the masculine and feminine energies, and awakening us to the prejudice the Bible has instilled in our minds and hearts. Let me repeat that. Awakening us to the prejudice the Bible has instilled. Okay? So basically, this is showing us that this is based off of an opinion, and we are treating it like actual experiences. It's not meant to be taken literal. The Bible is not literal. This is where we're missing the mark. This is how we're separating ourselves from his teachings. It's instilled in our hearts and minds as factual based experience of Jesus. He's telling us that's not it. Expand past the paper and move into the motions of consciousness. 333, as I said that. Ascended masters. Move into the motions of consciousness. Start questioning is what he's telling me. We need to start questioning again. Less physical, more ethereal. Less masculine, more feminine thought process. And there's a lot of people in the spiritual community as well that as we are speaking and walking the rise of the divine feminine, right, as many divine feminines are out here as a source of service within that manner, right? Mary Magdalene is helping many divine feminines bring forward the truth of Mary Magdalene, her story, right? Because the Bible deemed her as a whore when Jesus and Mary Magdalene were actually sacred lovers. And without Mary Magdalene's teachings, Jesus would not have reached his state of enlightenment, right? So the Bible has suppressed the divine feminine, has suppressed the feminine sacred power here, 444, as I'm saying that, okay? And really keeping us, they're saying it's like Stone Age. It's like Stone Age to this Bible, to literal writing. And we're completely missing the mark. It's completely being misinterpreted here. So I'm going to take a few deep breaths and I'm going to channel with Jesus for him to further clarify this for us. As I was breathing in and grounding into this energy, Yeshua, Jesus, and Mary Magdalene are hand in hand. They're representing duality here. And we are taking something that was granted to this reality as a form of guidance to Christ consciousness, and we're taking it as a form of detachment, right? So Jesus is placed as this savior within this world when he is actually teaching us how to save ourselves. Where Jesus is here as a light, a guiding light, not, it's kind of like he's giving me this energy where everybody has placed him on this pedestal where, yes, he reached a state of enlightenment. Yes, he was able to create such a change in this world. But the way that we are interpreting his message is not the way that it was intended to be interpreted. He wants us to reflect on what the Bible has to say and take it metaphorically. He's telling me that the 12 disciples are the zodiac signs, okay? So I'm going to be honest, I grew up in a Catholic household again, but I can't recall the Bible front to back. That's just not who I am as a person here. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to name the disciples for you if somebody wants to comment them out. Okay, but he's saying like that's how it's supposed to be read. That's how it's supposed to be deciphered, right? And we're all each supposed to intuitively decipher the messages in the Bible. It's not meant to be taken literally here. Okay. It's meant to turn us inwards. His teachings in the Bible are meant to have us reflect on an inward journey. It is not, he's telling me judgment. A lot of the teachings in the Bible are created, it's giving me patriarchy energy here, okay? So a lot of the way that the Bible has been restored and rewritten over the centuries here has actually been more based around mind control to control the population. Now, many of us may get triggered from that. Many of us may not know how to interpret that or absorb that type of information here. But Yeshua is coming in and he's enlightening us that the way that the Bible is being used and interpreted nowadays, it's all wrong. So, or if you are one of religion and if you are still here, please know that he is guiding us not away from the Bible, but he's guiding us to become thinkers again. Question the things that are said in there. How does it feel in your heart? How can you take what is said and turn it into a metaphorical, symbolic lesson and reflect it back to yourself? Because it is a guiding light to enlightenment. He does not want to be placed on a pedestal where you are then denying your own sacredness. Where he only holds the power. He's reminding you, you hold the power. But the way that the Bible has made us believe that he is the only power, forgetting that you are the power. Teaching us to think of ourselves less than. We are just as much, just as powerful, just as worthy as Jesus, as God, as Mary Magdalene, of all the deities and the goddesses that walked this plane before us, that are now in the higher dimensions, teaching us their ways. They left the breadcrumbs for our own interpretation. But when man took a hold and controlled it, that's where it lost its vision. That's where it lost its truth. So take what you will with this message, but it's meant to guide you and enlighten